Hello, welcome to the review of the Polestar 2, which I rented this last weekend, a long weekend for me, while I was in Perth celebrating my birthday. It's in different sections, so you can skip ahead to whatever chapter. I hope you enjoy watching. Thank you. And you can see the GPS will show up in the middle, and it will also show up on the middle of the dashboard here, which is quite useful, of course, when you're driving. Okay, so we're just here at Horizon Power and we're going to charge the Polestar that I'm renting. First time ever using a public charger. So there she goes. I might go inside and have a look. So this is Horizon Power in Bentley, and it's actually free charging, which is really good. So there's a green button we had to press here. So we're just inside the car now, and we can see here you can adjust the amperage, but we're on maximum of 32 amps. It's saying the charging will be complete at 10:20, but that's to go up to 90%. So we're not going to go to 90%, we're just going to put a little bit in. And there's a bit of a display on this side here which tells you a bit of the charging information. So it looks like it might be capped at 16 amps because it's got 16 over 32 there. So perhaps you can't get the full maximum charging rate on this one. Oh, it's my first time doing a full EV charge, so I'm learning as I go here. While I'm here, I've just went into a few settings as well. So on the drive settings, you can change the steering feel. One pedal driving, it was actually off, so I've put it on low. And I also changed some of the locking things. When I was unlocking the door, only the driver's door was unlocking, so I've changed that as well. That's quite interesting what you can do here on the menu. They've done a fairly good job. So this is a definite plus point for the car. It's very easy to look at all the stuff here. So we've been here a little while and we've got 3%. So it's pretty slow here. So obviously this is not a fast charger, but we might actually go and check out a fast charger and have a go at that one as well now. I mean, why not? Because it's all new for us. That's a good one, eh? I'm just here at this fast charging station at Ross's Home Discount Centre in Guildford, and we just plugged it in, and now this is way faster than the charger last night. So the first time I've ever used a fast charger. So it's a different type of plug, which I've plugged in. So you can have a look here, you can see. You can have a little look, you've got a lot more kilowatts, and it's saying that the charging will be complete. So roughly half an hour, which is pretty good. So we're going to go and have breakfast, but we decided we might just sit here because we don't need to charge it too much. We can probably just sit here for 10-15 minutes and that should be plenty. So it's still at 32 amps here. And I noticed something interesting yesterday. You can actually see it better here on the big screen. So they've said here Polestar recommends 90% to preserve the lifespan of the battery. So they don't charge it to 100%. So I notice a lot of EVs have a range where they say to charge, which obviously is a great idea. It's part of the battery management to make the battery last longer. So I know people should probably do that with their smartphones too, but nobody ever does. Yeah, most people charge it to 100%, but actually you can get a lot better battery life out of your smartphone, and probably most things with rechargeable batteries if you didn't charge them fully. So yeah, that's just something I noticed yesterday. You can actually preset it, which is quite good. So yeah, first time ever using a fast charger. So lots of firsts this weekend. And I have to say, it's really super easy. It's not hard at all to plug it in. And I've downloaded the app, and you just have to put in all your details so that when you plug in and use a charger with a ChargeFox app, it just debits it automatically. Whatever you use, whatever power generated, it calculates the cost. And I'll give you a little hint, it's way cheaper than petrol. And Western Australia will be having fully renewable power within the next 5 years. Most of the power in Western Australia will be renewable, which is another great thing because we're not using fossil fuels anymore. So take that, fossil fuel companies. So to start off my review proper, I'm going to start with the interior here and just some thoughts about how I've gone with the car over the last 3 days so far. We've just got the car, we've got to return it back tomorrow. So I have to say the interior and the exterior are both gorgeous in design. So they've done a fantastic job with the design. From everything from the gear stick, the way this sits beautifully, the iPad-like tablet in the middle, you know, the Polestar logo there, even just the little things like the vents are just fantastic. It's not perfect. There's a couple of little things I don't like about the interior. One is the obvious elephant in the room, and that is I feel it's a little cramped. I just feel like it's not quite big enough, the car. The second thing is the visibility through the rear. I don't know if you can see how well you can see that. So the visibility in the rear is not really the best. I don't feel like they've done a great job with the design there. So you can see here the window seems to be very narrow at the rear, and I just don't feel like the visibility is quite as good as it could be. It seems to be very small, and I do tend to look out the rear when I'm driving in traffic, so it's not the best design, unfortunately. And of course the front here, I just feel like it's a little bit cramped, a little bit uncomfortable. You can see how my knee seems to bang here on the top. I can put the seat lower and then I wouldn't bang my knee, but I've tried it and I just don't feel comfortable. I need to be sitting up a little bit higher in the car for it to be comfortable. So I wonder how, you know, and it's not that wide either, so I wonder how somebody 6 foot or a big person would go in this car. I think they might struggle, and it's a real shame because nearly everything else about the car I absolutely love. I mean, the attention to detail, the styling is just gorgeous. I mean, this isn't even the top model, but this beautiful design on the door, the materials they've used are fantastic. I mean, the logo in the middle, the Polestar logo is fantastic. Just some of the detail around the vents are just magnificent. So to start off, I will say, like, the styling both inside and out is absolutely gorgeous. I love the tablet, even just this beautiful gear stick here. It's really a lovely place to be, the car. It's really, I can't fault the design. It's absolutely magnificent, so hats off to who designed it. So moving outside, you can see even like the design of the wing mirrors are just really great as well. I love the wheels, the tires, the lines along the side of it. They're really great. So they've definitely done a fantastic job. The charging port is on this side, as you saw earlier, maybe in the charging video. And you can see there's not much to say it's a Polestar. There's just a very small sticker on the side there saying what it is. And of course you've got the logos at the front, the rear, and also on the wheels. In the middle of the wheels there's also we'll just have a quick look in the rear here, and you can see there's quite a lot of room here, so it can comfortably seat 4 adults. I wouldn't recommend putting somebody in the middle there. You have got this rear thing going down the middle, which is making it very uncomfortable, I think, to sit in the middle, and it's very narrow. I don't really think you want to be sitting there in the middle. Maybe a small child, but really it's a car for 4 people or less. But again, the styling is just absolutely gorgeous everywhere. Really beautiful. So you can see the automatic tailgate is very rapid on it. Underneath the floor there's the room there for the charging, no spare tyre, and in the front, at the front, I saw there was a tyre repair kit. So it could be a few more years before we see electric vehicles getting a spare tyre. And then you can either lock it or just close it up here. So I think one of the things that's contributing to it being a little bit cramped is this massive middle bit here, which seems to be taking up quite a bit of room in it. You can see it diverts there to make the tablet. So perhaps that's something they can work on, or perhaps they just need to scale this car up about 10 or 15% and it might well be perfect. I'm really keen to see what the Polestar 3 is going to look like, and whether that's going to be eliminate some of these problems of size. So again, you can see just the beautiful styling, and I do think it looks a lot better than a Tesla. I think they've really nailed the design. There's beautiful headlights, the colour, even the fog lights are just so subtle the way they've designed it. And here you can go through all sorts of menu settings, which you may have seen when I was showing you the charging part of the video. Here you can see under the range assistance, there's some really interesting things here about driving style, speed, and so on. Things you could perhaps do to change your style to eke out some more kilometers. I'm not quite sure what this performance thing is. I haven't worked that out yet, but not to worry. And of course you've got a Google Assistant, you've got Apple CarPlay. I'm not sure if they've got Android, but I haven't bothered to connect a phone to it, being just a rental for a few days. The maps are quite excellent, and when you're driving along you've also got a map display in the middle here. I haven't learned how to change some of the settings. I haven't obviously spent the time just having the car for a few days and not driving it that much. I'm here to celebrate my birthday, not really to do a car review, but this is as best as I can work out. The car seems to have the maps in the middle as a sort of default as you're driving along, so you don't really need to look at this screen here, which is pretty good. So you can see if I put it into drive, I probably need to put my seatbelt on to show you all that, so just a minute. Okay, so I've put my seatbelt on, and you can see this is the little display that comes up in the middle. So you've got your maps there. You don't really need to look at the tablet. Even when there's a route planned, it'll show here as a blue map. You've got a very, very subtle kilometer display there. The speed limit, it reads the signs as you go along and gives you the speed, and of course your gears. And on the other side, you've got your range, what the battery percentage is, and the charge and power will fluctuate as you drive along. Obviously it's got regenerative braking, and you'll see those things there. Now I have been trying it on one touch pedal, and I'll just go into the settings here and show you, so you can see some of the fantastic things that you can actually do. I'm sure you can do a lot of this on a Tesla as well. I've never driven a Tesla, but I might have mentioned my brother owns one. So the steering feel, I prefer a lighter steering, I should say. I prefer a lighter steering car, so I've put it on light. It was on standard when I picked up the car, and I did feel that was too heavy. So, but if you prefer a heavier steering car or firmer steering car, you might like that. Personally, I think it's great on light since I've changed it. You've also got some different settings for the one pedal driving. So it was off when I picked up the car. I tried it on low, which was pretty good, and now I've got it on standard, which can be quite violent when you really learn how to ease the pedal on and off. I've just been giving it a go just to see how it goes, and I think it's a great idea. I mean, you virtually cannot use much brakes at all, which I think is great too. It's just another advantage of electric vehicles. You save on brake pads, so it's just another thing which is going to save, I can imagine, millions and millions of dollars in materials worldwide, and not having to do that. So yeah, the Tesla obviously has one pedal driving as well, but definitely great here. Again, you can go to some of the other information here, and charging, a bit of charging information there, which I showed you before. And then you can actually go into some of the different settings to change, like you can do on many cars, not just electric vehicles, but many cars these days. You can change it. For example, with the locking, you can, when you unlock the doors, you can just have the driver's door unlocking, which is, again, when I picked up the car, it had this. So I've changed it to all doors, which is really great. And I've noticed that when you've got the key outside and you want to get into the car, you can actually remote unlock one of the rear doors, which is the first car I've ever known that you can do that. On my car at home and the previous Subaru I owned, it would only be the front two doors which would unlock. And I frequently go into the back of the car on the back seat, and of course you always have to, if you're going to do it remotely, you have to press, or sorry, not press, you have to open the driver's door and then go into the back seat. So in this vehicle you don't have to do that, and I think more of these features will be coming in because they're just so easy to do now with electric vehicles and software. I think you're going to see some more new and exciting features. So yeah, fantastic job here with the tablet. They've really included a lot of great stuff here. And then just quickly, the glove box is quite small. I have to say you can't really fit much in there. So very, very tiny, but hey, that's probably just from a little bit the interior. They've sort of crammed a lot in here. So, but the actual driving experience, when you actually drive it, it is actually very nice. It's very smooth, very quiet, and I've got no complaints about that. Sound system is fine as well. The acceleration that you might have seen there too, not a problem at all. So really, I think it's going to be a great car. If they don't have any issues with it, I think somebody's going to be very happy to own this long term. The real issue is going to be when you sit in it. It's quite low down, and I prefer the hip point to be a bit higher. It's a little bit low for me, like a Tesla's probably going to be a bit low for me as well. So that's the only thing. And of course, if you're tall, even though there's plenty of room above my head, I think it's more just your legs, squeezing your legs and getting comfortable. Maybe I'm just got an awkward leg height to my body, I don't know, but I just find it a little bit uncomfortable. So would I own this car? Would it be a car that I would buy? That's a good question. I think probably it wouldn't be, based on the fact that I banged my head a few times, and that the fact that it's so low, the hip point is so low. I don't think it's the vehicle for me. But would I recommend it? Without a doubt. I mean, see it for yourself. Try and sit in it yourself and see if that's going to be something you could live with. Otherwise, I believe the Polestar 3 is going to be more SUV-like, and perhaps will have a higher hip point. Well, it should do have a high hip point, have a higher ground clearance as well. I think that will solve a lot of problems. If it's a lot bigger there in the cabin, I think then somebody will, but most people might like that. So for me, I probably wouldn't buy this car, even though I've absolutely loved driving it and I love the styling and everything about it. It probably wouldn't be the electric vehicle for me. However, I'd seriously consider the Polestar 3 if the size issues were right. I think that would be one which I would be looking at very, very closely. So yeah. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the review and I didn't ramble on too long. I'm going to try and edit this so that we'll get all the best parts, and we'll try and keep the unwanted information to a minimum. Okay, take care everyone. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon. Bye. So that wraps up my review for the Polestar 2, which we rented last weekend. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm sure I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.